Let me begin softly, because this topic touches a place of worry most people do not want to admit out loud. There is a quiet fear sitting in many homes right now. A phone rings, the number looks familiar. The voice on the other end sounds official or even comforting, but something in your chest tightens. You wonder if you are supposed to trust it. You wonder if you will seem foolish if you hang up. You wonder why the world has become so complicated that even a simple phone call feels like a test. You are not alone in that feeling. And you are not wrong for having it. A few months ago, I sat across a small kitchen table from a man named Harold, 78 years old, a retired machinist with hands that still bore the marks of work he had done decades ago. His daughter had gone out to get groceries when his phone rang. The number looked like her exact number, same area code, same prefix. The display even showed her name. When he answered, he heard a shaky voice, one that sounded almost like hers. It said, "Dad, it's me, I'm in trouble. Please don't tell anyone, I just need you to help me right away." His heart dropped. His knees gave out beneath him as he sank into the chair. He said, "Tell me what to do." That is when a second voice, colder and too calm, took over the call. He almost sent $2,000 before his daughter walked back through the front door carrying a bag of apples. This is where confusion turns into manipulation. This is where fear meets technology that was never meant for people who grew up in a time when a ringing phone carried truth. Spoof numbers, fake bank calls, robotic voices, and now something crueler than anything I saw early in my career. Scammers using artificial intelligence to steal a person's voice and use it against the people who love them. Let me tell you the truth. The reason these schemes work is not because you are vulnerable. They work because you are kind, because you are responsible, because you answer the phone when it rings, because you assume that people mean what they say. That is dignity. That is decency. And the world has changed faster than anyone warned you. I want to tell you a story about another woman I met recently. Her name is Lena, 76, who keeps her phone plugged in beside her recliner so she can hear it at all hours. One afternoon, she received a call that displayed the exact name of her bank. Not similar, not close, the exact spelling with the correct logo that somehow appeared on her screen. When she picked up, she heard an automated male voice telling her that suspicious activity had been detected on her account. It instructed her to press 1 to secure your funds. She felt pressure, but she also felt a small wave of relief. She believed she was doing the responsible thing. When she pressed that button, the human voice came on the line, pretending to be a bank agent. Calm, polite, professional. He told her he was there to help her. He asked for the last 4 digits of her account. Then more information. Then more. Until he had everything he needed to drain her savings. I want you to hear something clearly. You are allowed to slow down. You are allowed to question. You are allowed to protect your peace before protecting anyone else's urgency. You are not wrong for pausing. The system that allowed scammers to imitate bank numbers failed you. You did not fail. Here is what they do not explain. A spoof number means the caller can make your phone display anything they want. They can pretend to be a bank. They can pretend to be Medicare. They can pretend to be the police. They can even pretend to be your own house number. There is no safety in what appears on your caller ID anymore. That is not your fault. That is the truth of the technology, and it has nothing to do with your intelligence, your awareness, or your memory. Let me tell you about something even more disturbing, something too many families are learning the hard way. A man named Robert, 82, received a call from what sounded like his grandson's voice. The tone was familiar. The breathing was familiar. Even the tiny way he pauses between sentences sounded real. But it was not his grandson. It was a recording created from a short clip the grandson had posted online years earlier. Artificial intelligence can take a few seconds of someone's speech and create a voice that fools the human ear. The scammer told Robert he had been arrested and needed bail immediately. The fear in that moment was real because the voice felt real. This is where fear meets the law. The law has not fully caught up to the technology, and seniors are paying the price in emotional turmoil and lost savings. But let me tell you the truth again. You are allowed to hang up. You are allowed to say, if this is real, I will call back through the official number. You are allowed to verify with a trusted family member. You are allowed to protect your heart just as much as your bank account. There is a pattern I see over and over. A robotic voice begins the call. It uses phrases meant to trigger panic. Words like urgent, final notice, legal action, security breach. When your body tenses, when your breath shortens, you are not failing. You are responding the way any human does when threatened. But here is what they do not tell you. Real institutions do not rely on robotic fear. Real institutions send letters first. Real institutions give time. Real institutions do not demand immediate verification over the phone. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to wait. You are allowed to breathe. I want to tell you about a woman named Eileen, 74, who received a call claiming to be from Medicare. The caller used her name, her address, her date of birth. Information like that can be pulled from old data breaches, from public records, from scraps of information gathered quietly over the years. The caller told her benefits were at risk unless she confirmed her number right away. Her voice cracked when she told me the story. She said, "I didn't want to lose my coverage." That fear is exactly what the scammer counted on. They built the trap around her sense of responsibility. Let me tell you the truth. Medicare will never call you out of the blue to confirm your number. The Social Security Administration will never call to threaten your payments. Banks do not ask you to verify sensitive information on an incoming call, and no legitimate official will ever demand action before you can think clearly. Here is the emotional shift I want you to take in. The system failed you by not protecting the phones you were taught to trust. The companies failed you by not building stronger safeguards before releasing these technologies into the world. The scammers are exploiting the gap between the world you were promised and the world that exists today. You are not the one who failed. You have done nothing wrong. You are allowed to reclaim your calm. You are allowed to trust your instincts again. When something feels off, that is wisdom. When something sounds rehearsed or robotic or too polished, that is your experience speaking. When a voice that claims to be a loved one is crying but avoids answering simple questions only that one person would know, that is your intuition helping you stay safe. Let us talk gently about how to recognize a real phone number. Not from the screen, not from the display, from your own control. A real call is when you initiate yourself by dialing the official number printed on the back of your bank card or your Medicare documents or utility bill. A real call gives you time. A real call respects your questions. A real call does not punish you for pausing. A real call does not shame you. And a real call never demands information you did not volunteer. Let me tell you the truth one more time. You can protect yourself without losing your kindness. You can be cautious without becoming fearful. You can say, I will call back through the number I know is real, and that single sentence can close the door on 99 out of 100 scams. You are allowed to take that control. You are allowed to place safety above politeness. I want to give you something emotional to hold on to. When these calls happen, the first feeling is usually confusion. The second is pressure. The third is shame. The quiet voice that whispers, why can't I keep up with all this? But the shame is misplaced. The shame belongs to the people who created these traps, not to you. You grew up in a world where trust was a strength, not a weakness. That is still true. Your ability to care, to answer, to respond comes from a lifetime of decency. It is something to honor, not hide. You are allowed to protect that goodness by choosing who you let into your phone, into your day, into your peace. The law was built to protect you even when no one tells you that. Consumer protection laws give you the right to demand written proof. Fraud laws make it illegal for anyone to impersonate a financial institution. But none of those laws matter until someone stands between you and the pressure. I am standing there with you now. Take a breath with me. Slow, steady. Nothing in this world that is real will collapse if you take a moment before responding to a phone call. You are allowed to step out of urgency. You are allowed to anchor yourself before you speak, and you are allowed to repeat softly, if it is real, it can wait. Because that sentence is true every single time. And now, let me place this in your hands gently. If this script helped you feel safer, share it with someone you love, someone whose phone rings too often, someone who worries silently, someone who deserves the same peace you deserve. Tell your story. Someone else may need to hear it. And stay with me, because your safety matters more than you think. You can do this. You already have.